What if events went differently? What if Star-Lord killed Thanos on Titan? What if the Mad Titan lost in Avengers Infinity War? How would this affect the MCU timeline after Infinity War and Avengers Endgame? While the events of Avengers Infinity War were some time back, I decided to make a what if where Star-Lord slayed the Mad Titan. Without wasting any more time, let's dive right into this Marvel's what if. Much of the original timeline of Infinity War would remain the same. Steve Rogers reunited with Bucky Barnes in Wakanda. In Wakanda, Black Panther rallied his army alongside several members of the Avengers. Shuri was extracting the Mind Stone from Vision. On Titan, Nebula has sent a message earlier to the remaining Guardians of the Galaxy to meet her on Thanos' destroyed home world, Titan. Tony Stark and Peter Parker already killed Thanos' henchmen, Ebony Maw, together. But Strange, they met Star-Lord, Drax, and Mantis. Strange started to use the Time Stone to view the millions of possibilities where they emerged victorious. In this fanfiction timeline, Strange said that he saw two outcomes where they emerged victorious, but before he could tell the rest on what those victory conditions were, they felt that Thanos was already coming. The Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy then went into hiding while waiting to ambush Thanos. Thanos appeared and started telling Strange about his grand plan to wipe out half of the universe to prevent the overpopulation. It was necessary to prevent the same aftermath that happened to Titan. The heroes then combined forces and started battling against Thanos, who already had the Soul, Power, Space, and Reality Stone equipped. The Mad Titan, empowered with 4 of the Infinity Stones, was an unbreakable force against the heroes. As Mantis managed to land on top of Thanos, she started to put him into sleep with her powers. While the heroes attempted to remove the Gauntlet, Nebula then arrived and helped the others to subdue Thanos. She asked of what happened to her sister Gamora, as she was nowhere to be seen. Thanos then said that Gamora was already sacrificed for the greater good. Nebula and Star-Lord then knew that Gamora has died. In the original timeline, Star-Lord lost his cool and started punching Thanos that allowed him to break free of Mantis' hypnosis and defeated the rest. But in this fanfiction timeline, things went differently. Star-Lord lost his cool and started firing his gun instead at Thanos. Tony screamed at him and told him to stay cool. The gauntlet was already coming off, and soon they would still be victorious. Star-Lord, however, started to glow, and his eyes turned blue. The Avengers were surprised, but the Guardians said that they have seen something similar last time when Star-Lord faced his father Ego. Star-Lord then channeled his celestial powers into both his gun and his fist. He fired a shot right to the Mad Titan's chest before punching right through it. The Mad Titan groaned in pain before Star-Lord punched his face another time. Due to the pain and struggle faced by Thanos, he managed to gain control of himself and broke free from the hypnosis. All of the other Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy were tossed back except for Star-Lord. Thanos was bleeding and injured badly. He needed to get to the Time Stone regardless. He went for Doctor Strange, but Star-Lord creating a giant Pac-Man statue and trapped him. He continued to generate some raw constructions and laid down on Thanos. The Mad Titan used the Power Stone to break free and said that even with his new powers, Star-Lord would be unable to defeat him. Star-Lord then laughed as he leaped towards Thanos before firing his gun, which had celestial powers. Star-Lord screamed as his mind broke mentally from the death of Gamora. The anger and rage fueled his strength as he punched right through the skull of Thanos. Before the Mad Titan could use any of the stones, Thanos was killed. His brain had been turned into mush. The Avengers and the Guardians could not believe it. Star-Lord has just single-handedly defeated the Mad Titan, which all of them were struggling so much to handle. Tony then went up to Star-Lord and was about to congratulate him before Star-Lord hit him away, sending him several miles away. Star-Lord turned and he looked different. He had rage and bloodlust bloodlust in his eyes. Strange said that this was the vision he saw, Star-Lord defeating Thanos, but even a greater enemy was born. Star-Lord walked over Thanos' corpse and picked up the Infinity Gauntlet. He said that he will bring back Gamora and that he will rule the galaxy as the true Guardian. Drax said that Gamora would not want him to do this. The other Avengers and Guardians regrouped as they feared what Star-Lord would do next. Star-Lord picked up the gauntlet and was about to wear it before Strange used his mystic arts to hold Star-Lord. Star-Lord turned and sent several powerful charges down onto the heroes, but Spider-Man managed to bring all of them to safety. Star-Lord then said that he would need to get all of the Infinity Stones to restore back Gamora. Nebula, however, said that Gamora had already died, even with the stones. She will not be able to be brought back to life. Star-Lord refused to believe it. The heroes then tried their best to restrain Star-Lord, but Peter Quill, with his celestial powers, managed to defeat all of them with ease. He then wore the gauntlet as he groaned in pain. With the gauntlet and the celestial powers, Star-Lord is the strongest in the entire universe. He had to retrieve the Time Stone from Strange, which Strange gave his best to prevent it from being surrendered. Meanwhile, on Earth, the battle between Thanos' armies led by the Black Order with the Wakandans have already begun. Neither side were aware of what was happening on Titan. As the Avengers and Wakandans were losing the battle, Thor arrived with Groot and Rocket. They eventually killed Corvus Glaive, Proxima Midnight, and Cull Obsidian. As the Avengers and Guardians were rallying their victory, they then felt a strange disturbance in the air. Bruce Banner thought that the Mad Titan has arrived. He felt the same energy as when he fought against Thanos on the Asgardian ship. The stone extraction from Vision's mind was taken longer than expected. The Avengers then saw a portal opening up. This time, it was Star-Lord with the Infinity Gauntlet. His eyes were still glowing from his celestial powers. None of the Avengers recognized who he was and were still being cautious. Thor then came from the sky with a Stormbreaker. He was surprised, however, when he saw that Thanos was not there, but the same man he met earlier before he left to nowhere. But he knew that something was different too. Rocket and Groot also joined Thor. At first, they were happy to see Star-Lord, but they soon realized that he was not the Star-Lord that they used to know. Rocket then asked what happened. Star-Lord said that Gamora was killed by Thanos, and that he plans to bring her back to life. If that fails, he would then create another reality where he and Gamora are happily married with the Guardians of the Galaxy by their side. Star-Lord was also holding Thanos' head. With his other hand, he showed Thanos' head to the rest of his army, and much to the horror of the heroes, he then told the Avengers that he needs the final stone to complete the gauntlet. Star-Lord told the others that he only needed the Mind Stone, as he has gotten the Time Stone from the Sorcerer Supreme. He used the Reality Stone to create a reality of what happened on Titan. The Avengers and Guardians were trying their best to hold Quill down, but his celestial powers and the gauntlet were too much for him. Star-Lord didn't kill any of the heroes, but brutally defeated them until they were unable to fight back. He then approached the Sorcerer Supreme and demanded for the Time Stone. Strange refused to hand it to him and opened the Mirror Dimension. There he battled with Star-Lord, and it was an almost even duel. Quill then used the Power Stone to destroy the gateway leading to the Mirror Dimension and bested Strange. He then told Strange to hand it over, and which he had no choice but to do so. At the time, Vision already told the others that Scarlet Witch would have to destroy the Mind Stone by herself. Only she had the powers to do that. The Avengers refused to hand over Vision's stone to him. Originally, they wanted to destroy the stone because Thanos wanted to wipe away half of the universe. But now, Star-Lord is just being selfish with his demands, because he was extremely brutal and how he defeated the others on Titan. The Avengers then tried their best to defeat Star-Lord, but were unable to do so. Just like in the original timeline, Wanda destroyed the Mind Stone on Vision's head. Wanda used her telekinesis to stop Quill from unleashing his full force, but he managed to use the Time Stone to reverse back to before taking the Time Stone and placing it on the Gauntlet. With now the full force of the Infinity Stones and his own celestial powers, Star-Lord said that he has a chance of his desires. He would create a new reality where he and Gamora are happily married, with the Guardians of the Galaxy being the only protectors of this galaxy. This meant that the Avengers would never have appeared in any timeline. He said that the Avengers are a bother to him for their actions, resulting in the loss of Gamora on Titan. Thor disagreed and charged his Stormbreaker, sending a full powerful lightning charge on him, but he wasn't able to tank it. Quill, who was already crazy, laughed. He said that it was too late and snapped. A bright light emerged, and all of a sudden, Quill was transported to a different place. It seemed like a different reality where there was only him and Gamora there. He was surprised to see Gamora, but hugged her. Gamora just cried and said that she was already dead, and no matter what he does with the stones, the Gamora he knew was always going to be dead. And even if she does appear back, it would just be a vision of what he desires, but it would not be a true reality, as Gamora was sacrificed for the Soul Stone and nobody can return from the Soul Stone's trade. Quill then woke up as he saw Gamora was just lying down next to him. She kissed him and he was still trying to comprehend on what was happening. He went out and it was a hero's welcome. The Guardians of the Galaxy were praised and adored by everyone in the universe, with Gamora as his wife. He looked at his right hand and the Infinity Gauntlet was still there. He asked Gamora of where they were and she said that they are at Earth. He asked where the Avengers are, but she shook her head. She said that she never heard of these Avengers before. Quill smiled as this meant that his plans was already a success. Just then, all of them felt a powerful tremor. Quill received reports that there was something dark emerging from New York City. At the same time, there was a formation of a huge structure coming from the ocean. Quill wasn't sure what was happening and went over to New York with the Guardians. He saw a dark entity emerging from the Sanctum Sanctorum. It was none other than Dormammu. At the same time, the structure emerging from the oceans appeared to be the birth of a new celestial, Tiamat. The great celestial planet Tiamat many thousands of years ago and gave birth of Tiamat was happening. In this timeline, the Eternals were not aware that the people of Earth would be killed after an emergence. With both Dormammu and Tiamat happening at the same time, Star-Lord had to tackle both obstacles as the Dark Dimension emerged and consumed Gamora, Drax, Rocket, Groot. Quill could only watch helplessly as he was frozen in the realm of the Dark Dimension. Even with the Gauntlet, he couldn't do anything. Adding with the stress of losing Gamora again, Quill started crying. If only he wasn't selfish. Quill then heard a voice telling him that he could use the Gauntlet to reverse back when they were on Titan, and that Gamora's death is inevitable. Gamora would not have wanted this to happen, and the Avengers are fundamental to Earth as their protectors. Quill said that his rage has blinded his vision. Vowing that this would be the final time to use the Infinity Stones, Star-Lord then snapped as everything that happened to this reality was undone, and he returned to his original timeline of Infinity War, where he was confronting Thanos about Gamora. I decided to reverse back the decision of Thanos dying as in the original timeline. Only after the blip, the Avengers would emerge victorious. Any other decisions of that would result in imminent victory of the Mad Titan. And that is going to be, what if Star-Lord had killed the Mad Titan in Avengers Infinity War? If you guys did enjoy this Marvel's What If and want to see more, do make sure to subscribe, like, share, and turn your notifications on so you and your friends are all up to date with the latest content. I will be doing a ton more fan fictions, like the Star-Lord one that you just saw, as I will be doing other Marvel characters, such as Hulk, Iron Man, etc. But anyways, as always guys, thank you for tuning in, and have a fantastic day.